Welcome to this edition of Beauty Business Matters. And this edition is with the lovely Azra Riaz, who owns Liberties, hair, beauty and aesthetics in Bradford, and has had the business now for 32 years. We're going to talk about the celebrations that she's just been doing too. But Azra, I mean, we've known each other now for quite a few years.
Definitely, yes.
From when you first joined Beauty Directors Club. And then we're going to talk about all the different things that you've done. But first of all, welcome. And thank you so much for taking the time, because I know it's a busy time. You've had such a hectic time with the event. And as I say, I want to really go into that because it was such a phenomenal event. But can we first of all just start from your journey into our industry? So did you always, because you do hair and beauty, don't you?
Yes, so yeah, I do both, yes.
Yeah. So where did this all start from?
Do you know, my journey is completely different in one way. I'd done my GCSEs. I was going to go on to do law. So I took my law A level and then my father had a friend who was a solicitor and I went to go work in his practice for a week. It was like a work experience. And when I came out, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this forever. It was literally like that. And I was like, oh, I need to speak to people. You're just in a room. It was just not what I imagined. And I just thought I could not do this for the rest of my life. And it was like, we used to go to so many family weddings, friends' weddings, and I always used to do the hair and makeup for my sisters, for my mum, and and everyone always used to compliment. And it was self-taught. I'd go to the library, pick up makeup books, try and recreate those, and do the hairstyles and everything like that. And I thought, I really do like this. And I remember coming to my dad and my mum, they were sat in the lounge, and I said, do you know, I've got something to tell you. I don't think I want to go and study law. I have a real interest in hair and beauty, and I've had a word with the college. I've enrolled in the college, but I need a cheque for £350 to buy my kit. And, it's totally up to yourselves. If you feel I should, let me know. And I remember my father just quietly leaving the room. And I was like, oh my God, I've upset my father. And honestly, he's like my idol. He really is. And I was like, oh, I've really done it now. And he came back with the checkbook and he'd signed the check and give me a blank check. And he said, do what makes you happy and have whatever you need. And he said, and if you want anything else, come to me. And my mum was like, oh my God, she was doing law. What you mean? She's going to go do hair and beauty. And honestly, I went and enrolled. And that was it, the turning point for me. I did 3 years at college, and it was hair and beauty. And I really liked the best of both. Like with beauty, it was like people coming in having like skin transformations, like having facials. And I really liked that side. But I also liked the hairdressing side, where having a cut and blow dry, you instantly transform somebody and they went out with that real feel good. And it was like, you had like that buzz of those kind of clients. And so I was so torn between, do I do hair? Do I do beauty? So I just stuck to the best things that I like doing out of both. And that's where my journey started. And then I always remember I did the 3 years at college. And my work experience was a department store, Rackham's in Bradford. It was very posh, yes. And, I used to go in and admire all the makeup girls when I used to go in with my parents. And it was like, oh, my God, to work in here. And I remember having work experience there for a week. And that was in my final third year. They offered me a Saturday job. And so whilst I was still finishing my course, I was working there on a Saturday. And it was just that prestigious feel, and you felt so important, but you felt worthy, like, somebody had seen like your talents.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I'd qualified, they offered me a full-time job.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, and then before I'd realised it, it was like literally speaking, I was head of beauty. So I was beauty manageress. And then my tutor, the head of department from college, got in touch with me and she was going, Azra, I think you need to come in and start teaching. And I was like, okay. So I ended up doing a teaching qualification. And whilst I was working at Rackham's, I was also teaching at the college. And it was amazing because you've been through the whole college system yourself and then actually going back and helping things and the tweaks and the things that were missing in getting a qualification. What you saw was different in industry. So when you're in a salon, you do things different. It's almost like learning to drive. You're taught to pass your test, but you learn to drive after.
It's very much like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You learn the process.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when you come out of college, it's like a whole new learning experience.
100%.
Even though, you're in like an environment, quite often like a salon environment, it's still not the same as like being out on the shop floor and things.
And it was almost like a bit of a culture shock, I think, because you go in and it's like, oh my God, this and this, and like your timings and everything. But that was an amazing thing. And I think to be part of the Glenby group at that time, it was amazing. And the training that I did and everything like that. But then when I was teaching, I felt like I was giving back and helping, like, I always remember the first day I'd gone into college and I'd turned up, got the key to let myself into the classroom. And at that time, I was probably about, say, 20, 21, if that.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
And,
wow, that's really young to be.
Really young. And I remember opening the door, unlocking the door, walking in, and there were cleaners in the room and they were like, oh, who said you can come in? You can't come in unless your lecturer's with you. And I said really meekishly, I am the lecturer. She's going, oh my God, they get younger and younger. But then you had people that were in your group, in your class, that were actually older than you.
Yeah.
So having that kind of barrier, and it was almost like, oh, you're as young as my daughter and you're teaching us. And I think I had to then say, well, actually, I've done the course. I'm here to teach you the course.
Yeah.
And, and it was lovely, a little bit of like, almost like, well, how much do you know? But then once they actually got into it, they turned out to be like amazing, honestly. And then you have that thing, you want everybody to pass. You give so much to them and everything like that. And it was almost like seeing your children graduate. It's really weird when you're thinking they're old enough to be your mum, but it's like, it was just that kind of feeling that you want everybody to do really well.
You got so much experience so quickly, though.
Oh, exactly.
And I mean, I think when you've got a passion in something, though, which obviously, I mean, even just like now you can see in your eyes, you've still got that passion even now.
Yeah.
That you can just move mountains, can't you? You can do all sorts when you're in your flow and things.
100%.
Going back to Rackham's then.
Yeah.
So did you end up staying there just part-time while you did teaching?
No.
Or how did you do it?
I was working there full-time, and I used to have one day off. So we worked, I worked on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then it was 5 days a week I worked. And then my one day that I didn't work, I was teaching at the college. And then I was doing the evening classes as well. So that meant then my Sunday, I was up very early in the morning because we used to do.
Day, was it?
Well, actually, Susan, I then decided the love of makeup, and I used to do brides.
Oh,
so
wow.
Asian brides, and some of the Asian brides, their wedding started at 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning. I was literally, and it took at that time probably about 2 hours to get them dressed. So it was like doing their hair, doing their makeup, setting their outfit, their jewellery, the headscarf, everything. And doing all that on a Sunday and then prepping. And I think I always remember my dad saying to me, he goes, you're going to be heading for a burnout. You're just constantly working. But I was like, I'm young. I've got that passion. I can do it. And so I was at Rackham's for maybe about 3.5 years, I think,
Yeah.
in total.
But again, going back to passion, when it doesn't feel like work, when it is your passion.
Yeah.
And I mean, now probably if you look back at like the amount of hours that you were working,
Oh my
it's a
God.
colossal amount.
Yeah.
But when it's just something that you absolutely love,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it has a different connotation on it, doesn't it?
100%. I always think it's more a hobby then.
Yeah.
And it's like the enjoyment. And I think going back to what I said before, it's the thrill, seeing just that smile and that transformation in every client that comes in. Even like an eyebrow shape, you change somebody and it's the confidence they walk out with. And I just think if you have that passion, it really does show in your work. You know, really, really does.
So from the teaching, from working
Working.
in the departmental store, at what point did you then decide that, right, it's time to start my business now, my journey into entrepreneurship?
It was probably something I didn't even think of. There was a premises had come available, and my parents were like, you know, you do it all the time, and have you ever thought of having your own business? And my parents had a business, so I was just like, you know, so you knew a little bit of the ins and outs. But again, I think at college, you're never taught how to run a business or anything like that. You are the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And when you've worked with, like, you know, a corporate kind of company like Glenby, you're taught certain things. But again, I was young. And I thought, oh, do you know what? Let's do this. We can do it. And I think it was, do you know, almost the niceness of going to choose all your interior, buying your furniture. I was so hooked on all that. I don't think, and I think because you're working all the time anyway, it was no different. It was just a different premises. And that's how I took it. But then it was all the extra little bits that, you know, going to buy stock, doing this. I used to do orders all the time anyway when I was at Rackham's. But it was then having to do it for yourself. And that was different.
So when you first started then, was it just you, or did you go straight
Yes.
into having a team?
So it was myself, it was just myself. And then very quickly I had to get a hairdresser in. So I was doing the beauty because I just couldn't do both. And then we had a full-time hairdresser with me, probably I think a couple of months into it. And then that's how it stayed. And then my premises was one beauty room and one room for like where I did all the hairdressing. And then we started to get like different kinds of treatments because, you know, in our industry has progressed so much.
Totally.
Oh my goodness. I mean, like, you know, to see 3 generations on how it's actually changed is, you know, is amazing in so many ways. So we outgrew that property in one way, but what we ended up doing was the back of the property, I actually extended into the back and we made more beauty rooms in the back, made the hairdressing section a little bit bigger. And that we outgrew as well as the number of staff increased. And then we had a downstairs, so we made that into a beauty room, but that was more exclusive. It had like, it was much larger. We did all body treatments down there, and gosh, remember the slender tone, Susan? We did slender tone, and oh my God, yeah, you know, they're all blasts from the past. But yes, we used to do all those kind of treatments, and that's how we progressed. But and I think being one of the first Asian girls to start in our industry, that was very hard. And, you know, I did feel for my parents because hair and beauty, it was almost an industry that people frowned upon. It was like...
Well, I think it's one of, even now, I don't think... And possibly it's us that should be shouting about the amount of training that you do, because I mean, the training you did and the training I did, when I trained, there wasn't the amount of beauty therapists, lecturers around. So I got trained by physiotherapists, by, you know, it was people coming outside of the industry in to teach us. So, you know, a lot of it was, we were following a lot, like similar to like a nursing degree kind of thing in E&P and different things. So, you know, but even now, I don't think until a client gets into learning more about your business, they don't realise the amount of training that goes into it. But yeah, I mean, it now as well, the most, like, the more advanced it gets, it is really the more and more, like, sort of advanced our training has to become too as well. So it's yeah, I absolutely love it. So you obviously then the premises that you are in now, it was that the same premises that you've just expanded and expanded?
Yeah, so then so that was the original shop. Then we took over the shop next door, and then we made it all into one premises. So, and that's what we've relaunched and renovated now.
That's very similar to us. I mean, we've done sort of, we originally just had the upstairs premises, then we moved downstairs and had both. Then we expanded above the business next door and things. And it's a great way to do it though, isn't it? It's a gradual growth, and you're taking clients on that journey with you. And we still now call the new rooms, and they're like 15 plus years old now.
But but I just think it's like, and you're probably the same as us. You have clients that have been on your journey and are still your clients after 32 years, and they remember everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so different. And, you know, just going back to being Asian, opening up a hair and beauty salon, it was almost like, oh my God, you're a hairdresser. It's like they classed you as a male barber in a sense. Oh my God, that's like, you know, that's no level of education. And that's to what it was. And my parents honestly took a lot of stick on my behalf. And again, so humbled by how they handled everything, how they handled me in that situation as well. And now when I look back at how many clients have become, you know, that were inspired by me and have actually gone out and become hairdressers, beauty therapists. And I think in the Asian community more so, the level of respect now, being an Asian woman and having your own business or having that, like, you know, self-employed status, the girls are actually, it's so inspiring, so truly magical. But it's like a 360 turnaround where the women were not suppressed in a sense, but were at home and they got an education till like the GCSEs, and the tradition was they got married, stayed at home mums. But it's lovely and honestly so passionate to see that these girls are now saying, no, I can actually do hair and beauty. I can even work from home if need be. I can go out and do part-time. And you see these girls and, you know, they've grown into themselves and the confidence. And just meeting people that have like, do you know, Azra, you inspired me. It was because of you. My mum allowed me to go to college to do that. And just even, I was thinking, if you could even help one person, oh my God, you've helped the world. Yeah. But it was just so nice to see.
It's when you do get into like sort of the, you know, because we're just shy of like 37 years at the anniversary for my business. Very much like you watch someone, and I mean, we've even employed some like therapists where we've watched them grow up from being sort of coming in with their mums, being inspired to go and train, and then coming and working for us as well. It's like just so lovely. But I mean, the thing is that you then obviously as well did have a family, and so did you find it easy to integrate the two? Both culturally, because was it expected then that you would then be the stay-at-home mum, or how did that work?
So with myself, I didn't actually get married till a lot later.
Right.
So my father, because he was in the Navy, his ethos was, there's so much more to this world than you being where you are. See the world, travel the world. And I always remember he was very different to an Asian father, honestly. And he used to say to us, you know, when you're ready to get married, he goes, you're going off doing your education. When you're ready to get married, just let us know. And my mum was like, oh my God, you've said that to them. None of them have come to us. Everyone else's kids are getting married and mine are still unmarried. And my father was just like, you know what, it's okay, let them live and have everything. So for me, having my parents so close to me, they helped me in everything. Like my father would take me to the to the wholesalers, buy things. My mum did everything. She'd wash all my towels for
Mine
me.
did too.
Do you know what? And honestly, and I think, I was such a pampered, I was so spoiled, honestly. Super privileged. And I'm sure my siblings used to say, God, we're having to go out and like we've got our family, our kids, we're juggling everything. And Princess Azra has just got everything on her doorstep. But yeah, it was, they supported me. My family supported me so much. And I think when you have that, and they can see the passion and the drive you have as well, and how quickly you turn things around. And I'm such an ideas kind of person. And I think, they were like, oh, she wants to do this next. Oh, she wants to do this next. But I always remember traveling out to do brides, and my father would be like, you're not going anywhere at 4:00 in the morning. And he would be my driver, and we'd drive to Manchester. We'd drive to here. I remember going to Birmingham. And it was like, and, having just your father, having that chat, stopping up at a service station, having that. And, it was the whole family business behind it. And that's what's made you. It's the stepping stone for everything.
Yeah. So did you take time out then when you had your family, or did you just adapt around it?
I think, when I had my children, I remember my older sister saying to me, you need to get them into a routine if you're thinking of going back to work. And I remember she gave me this book and she was going, read this book and it'll be amazing for you. And honestly, at 6 weeks, my children, my twin boys, they're 19 now, bless them, but they were so in a routine. Even I remember leaving them to go on training. I think they were about 7 weeks, and I had to go somewhere. I can't remember where now, but I'd left them with my mum, dad, and my brother. And my brother, bless him, had come over from Hong Kong. And it was like, here, you've got children to look after. And I'd wrote this routine down, and he'd actually gone and thought, he ticked everything and put 10 out of 10. He goes, they're like clockwork. But I think he had to do it because I knew I was going to come back to work. Yeah. And as soon as I could, my mum and dad, bless them, looked after the babies and the twins. And when they got to 9-10 months, they went into nursery. So I had that help. But I think when they're at nursery, it's almost paying another mortgage. But you think they're not going to be that age forever. They're going to get to school and they grow up so quickly. Yeah. And then I was doing other courses alongside working. And I always remember them sat at the dining table. They'll be doing their homework. And I was doing my college work, my training. And they used to say, are you doing your homework too, Mummy? Yes, I am. But you always feel that little bit guilty as well, being a full-time in the salon and having children as well, trying to juggle. And I used to go home and you're exhausted from working, and I'd go home and they'd come and give you a hug, and honestly, all your tiredness and the stress had all gone, and it was like, right, I've got X amount of hours before you go to bed, and you gave them everything. But again, it's having your parents, having your siblings there. Everyone looked out for everyone, and they grow up so quickly.
So you've also got your daughter. Is she interested in coming in the industry? I know she was helping with the event and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, she is such a blessing. And I think because she's almost like my shadow, and I think when you have a daughter, they're always with you wherever they go. And like, she's been coming to the salon since she's about 14, coming in every Saturday, and it's just seeing her grow. And I think it's when clients have always said, oh my God, she's really coming out of herself, the confidence. And then she was like, oh Mum, I can answer the phone, let me do this. And I've slowly let her do things, but she wanted a uniform, and I thought that's a small price to pay. But now she feels part of the team. So she's just done her GCSE, she's coming in, she's working in the 6 weeks holiday, but it's almost having a right-hand man. It's so lovely. And I think she feels like when I get home, you've got the family life, juggling everything else. And like we live with my mum, so it's looking after her. She feels like when we're at work, she has that one-to-one with me. She's with me.
Yeah.
So she feels very privileged that way. But I'm so blessed with my children too.
Oh, and as well, obviously they're now, I mean, like, I know they're also so proud of like the event that you've just
I
done.
know.
So obviously you've grown the salon now,
Yeah.
and now you've just done a big refurb as
Yeah.
well. And it just, I mean, the salon, we'll put your details in the show notes, but anyone who to have a look at the salon, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So I know, obviously, you and I have been working quite closely together on you organising your event, and that has just been phenomenal, hasn't it? It was, you've had dignitaries there,
I
and
know.
so
Oh, honestly, I mean, I think working with you on that one-to-one has been amazing. I think you've made me tap into things because I feel like when you're in the salon 5 days a week, you're almost so blinkered. You just do, everything is just for your clients, for this, and this. And you forget there's a big world out there and you don't see things. But having the fact that I could tap into your knowledge, you'd ping things over and it was like, oh, well, why not? Let's have the Lord Mayor then. It was almost like, oh, okay, why not? And that was it. And I remember thinking, oh, how do I Google? How do I invite the Lord Mayor? So it's amazing. It was like, yeah, it's an online application. And I remember writing all that and sending it. And I think they said, oh, you'll get a reply back in 10 days. And I remember 7 days in, I was like, anxiety levels. I need to know. I really need to know that everything is fine, that he's coming. Is he not? Because I had other things to plan around it. And then when I actually rang his secretary, oh, the most lovely man, he was like, oh, I'm actually just returning. I was just replying to your email. The Lord Mayor and Lady Mayoress are honoured to come to your event. I was like, oh my God, they're coming. And then it went to a different level because like you had hierarchy coming. It had to be even more. So you put more stress on yourself.
But you pulled it off beautifully. I mean, it was just such a, I mean, obviously I was away, but looking at the photos and things and all when the event was on, I kept thinking, right, the Lord Mayor will be nearly there now. And then, and I mean, he ended up staying so much longer, didn't he, than you anticipated.
But do you know, the first thing he actually said, Susan, was, oh, you've got the red carpet for me. Nobody has the red carpet. That was Susan actually saying, make sure you get a red carpet out. So, and it was like, yeah, but when we had it, but I think having the red carpet, because all the clients, they were like my old clients that had been with me 32 years. And they walked in, everyone felt like a VIP. Yeah. But having him arrive, and he was just so blown away by it. It was like so nice. And I know they said you had half an hour with the Lord Mayor, 5 minutes meet and greet, saying goodbye, and 20 minutes in the actual event. He stayed an hour and 40 minutes. He was such a lovely, humble man. And, you know, he in the actual, when you put in your application for him to attend, it was almost like, you know, would you like him to do a speech? And I was like, oh, okay, yes, whilst he's here, he could do. I'd sent over a speech for him to memorize every single key point. It was just amazing. But when he was actually saying it, he said, you know, it came from the heart. It just felt, and all the way through he was saying, God, you're so blessed, such a lovely family, such a wonderful team, such this. And you realize that without your family, without your team, without these people and your wonderful, amazing clients, you know, you're nothing. It's like they have got like, you know, they're your spine, your backbone. They hold it all together. Yeah. And I always say it's like all the pieces in a jigsaw. You're all one when everybody is to it. And I think on the event, having all my team, we'd got new uniforms. They went down a treat and everyone's like, oh, wow. But it was like, you know, having all their names embroidered on their uniforms, it just made us feel amazing. Yeah. And it was all the little attention to detail. And then the feedback from the event, people sending us emails. and like lovely messages. And I think what was really nice, we had like a guest book. So everybody was writing in there, and then the Lord Mayor also wrote in there. But reading that back, oh gosh, it's so emotional. And you just think, is this what you mean to people?
Yeah.
And you're so taken back because you're just focused on that client at that time to give them the best, to give them the best treatment, the best experience, and you give them all that love and attention. You never realize how much they hold for you.
Yeah, it is. It's so much more than a business.
Honestly, yeah.
It's community. It's you just have that very special bond. But I mean, as well, you also included some of the local businesses as well.
Yeah.
They were all fabulous and helped.
Honestly, I mean, my thing is Bradford and Manchester Road, where my business is, has supported me. The community around there are almost my foundation, my building blocks to my business. And when it came to doing an event, there were so many outside caterers, and I was looking at those, and then I just thought, why am I giving business away from my local businesses? We have so many wonderful eateries and are just literally on the block of shops that we're at. And I thought, let me go and speak to them. And, I went and I spoke to 3 businesses, and I was saying, I'd like some fish bites. And that was our local fish and chip shop. And he was like, oh my God, we can do that. The burger place, he did us these gourmet burgers.
They looked fabulous.
Yeah, they were like, honestly. And then like we had the most nicest sandwiches from the deli place. And they all came, and I invited them and their partners to the event. They all turned up, but everyone else on Manchester Road came out as well. And they're all watching from where their shops were. And it was just lovely. And people just passing by, and even days after, coming to congratulate me. And we had one of the businesses, and he actually said, so me and my son had gone to go give them some cakes to say thank you for supporting us. And he actually said to my son, give your mum a hug. She's the only female business on this road, and she holds her own. And the event, what a classy, amazing event. And, we had like live music. She was amazing. We had a violinist who played both Hollywood, Bollywood. So we had, because we have a mixture of clientele, she catered for everybody. And people were coming up to me saying, oh my God, I remember that song from back in the days. Because, and I just think, it was just everything about it. The event was honestly the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And then it's like, even after the events happen, you're on this adrenaline rush. You're like so excited. And then I sat down, and it's like Susan's messages, you will be doing this now. I'm thinking about you, and it's all this. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Susan. And then sending you messages. And then we had like an amazing, we had a mocktail bar. They were fantastic. It was just unlimited drinks all night long. She started like putting us up on stories on Instagram, and then everybody else did, and we were like going, oh my God, we haven't even made a reel or stories. We were just reposting everything. And this is where I always say, collaborating with local businesses. Totally. And honestly, it's what you've always said. It's like collaborating with them. I think we were 9.7K on Instagram last month. In the last 30 days, we were on 33 point something K, literally within not even 5 days from the event.
Yeah, just and the awareness.
This is it. Yes, exactly. And then from these people that we've tagged, all the businesses that have helped us, we've had clients come through. I saw the real, mocktails that tagged us, and I'm coming through her. We actually had some amazing influencers. Again, tap into that. They love the fact that, and they're so knowledgeable of our industry as well. And they love the fact that you've invited them, and they were so nice, so humble themselves. They came in, and we had like all gift bags arranged for them, extra things in the influencers, but so nice. We'd gifted them treatments as well for them to come in and try. But their videos, their reels, their stories, we've actually gained so many new clients from, so many new followers. It's amazing. And I just think that's been one of the best kept secrets, is doing events. We really need to be out there doing these events, promoting yourself. And it was really funny. I think the photographer who actually came, he said, I know about you, but he said, now he goes, Bradford and the world beyond will get to know about you, because he said, you've been one of the best kept secrets of Bradford. And when you actually get out there and you become the face of your business. And I've always worked in the business. I think COVID and being introduced to yourself and Beauty Directors Club actually taught me to work on the business.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was just an employee in my business. We were working back to back all the time with clients. And then you get to a point where COVID hit and it was like, oh my God, there's no clients. What do we do? And that's when, joining your group, did we actually learn there's all the back house of doing the business and all the things that college never taught you. And again, I always say, I do regret not doing a business degree or a business qualification to teach you all that. But then I think I got all of it within Beauty Directors Club and with everything.
Learning from. And I think when we were talking about collaboration, I think this is the way forward. I think this is how our industry is changing. In the past, over the years, it's been quite closed, where people didn't want to share what they were doing in their business. And I knew, years ago, I used to do some network events, which I'm starting to do again. Once you've got everyone together and everyone has their own clients, everyone attracts a certain clientele. There's enough clients for everyone. So sharing knowledge, it's just such a great way forward. And obviously we do that in abundance in Beauty Directors Club.
Definitely.
But it is, because so when you go and do business, as in learning business, you're still not learning the things that those little intricacies which are just for our industry as well, and it's I know you're saying you wish you had gone and done a business degree, but I really don't think you would have utilised it fully. I think you really just need to know the key things, and also have support around you, which is what you've done, and that is now, to me, collaboration's the way to grow a business. Definitely.
Yeah, it really is, and it's very strange, because I think in our industry you think, who do I collaborate with? Is it bridal shops? Is it florists? We're now collaborating with, there's such a big industry out of there. We've had restaurants collaborate with us, and they were saying, could we host events? Could you come to the restaurant and host events here? And we were like, anything is exposure for us, and it's actually getting our name out as well. Yeah. I just feel like now we've come to a point where our community's given us everything and supported us. We want to now give back, and like I was saying, I want to work on the business, but also you feel privileged at this time in your career that you have got that time and you have got to give back and helping others and moving things forward and caring for the community as well. I'd love to work with some more charity organisations, and I'm really passionate about wellness and mental health. Women's Refuge, and probably the same with yourself, Susan, and probably everybody who has a hair, beauty, aesthetics clinic, that when you have your clients come in, you're not just doing their hair, beauty treatment, it's that journey that you're with them. You've seen them, their ups, their lows, you've been a support for them, and you build such a strong relationship. You've helped them through so much, and I feel in our industry, what's worked for somebody, you've given that advice to somebody else, and they've done that, and then you've moved on, and it was like, you feel like you've gained so much and so much that you help so many people, and I don't think you even realize you're doing it. And I think maybe it's the nature of somebody going into hair and beauty, that they have that caring nature. Maybe it's just one of those things, but we do it without realizing. But it's when those clients come back and say, I wouldn't be here without you. I'm here because of what you said to me. And you don't realize how powerful your own words are. And I just think we're now wanting to collaborate with life coaches, wellness clinics, like Pilates studios. We've got doctors that are psychologists, and we're now wanting to start caring for our community and having workshops within the salon. So now with the relaunch, when you go into a hair salon, all the mirrors are against the wall. And I was like, well, you never talk to somebody. I'd never talk to somebody over here if I'm just looking forward. So what we've done is in our salon, I've made like a table, and it's almost like a dining table with chairs on either side. Our mirrors flip, so you can have that communication. We've had clients that have just been sat there making little walking clubs and doing things like that. And this is where I want to give back to my community. They've supported us. I want to do that now.
I've got no doubt that you aren't going to do all of this, Azra, because the thing is that, your passion, like we said earlier, just shines through. And, now the fact that you can start and work more on the business. I always like to say it's your business, your rules, and different times throughout your business journey, yes, to start with, you wanted to be in the business kind of thing. Now, I think you see your role as a bigger role in that, yes, you can still be within that business, but as well, it's the leader in that business kind of thing. And I do think as well, because you now are, and for many, many years, being an unnoticed role model, it means that as well. I think you can really start and move mountains around like your area as well, because they say that it just takes one person to start to stand up to like think, right, yes, we can all work together to do this.
Agreed,
and to say hats off to you. You just what you've done and what you're doing is just absolutely awesome. Now, I always ask for a couple of golden nuggets, but I think you've just like given so many all the way through. But is there anything specifically, any advice that, or for either anyone starting in our industry or for someone who's already in our industry, anything that you would say is, these are my golden nuggets?
I think for me, I think joining Beauty Directors Club, I feel like when you're in a business, you're so blinkered. Everything is for your business. There's nobody, you have a team, but you don't have your support mechanism. You're supporting your team, but there's nobody supporting you. And I feel like when you are in a club like we have, it's so amazing. They're strong, inspiring women that have been through so many things that you're going through that help you. And having that community, it's almost having your own family. And, and the connections you make, and everyone's so ready to share, this worked for me, that didn't work for me. Having that, it's almost like having your own network. And I think that was the best thing that happened to me. And having the confidence to move your business more forward, to grow. And I think as well, for another thing is having the foundation and the structures in place for your business, growing your team and having the most amazing team that you can now, they can run the salon, without you being there. And I think when you have that, you can not step away. You can then develop your business and bring new business in, bring new collaborations in. And it's all exciting for the team as well, because they are, they're supporting you, you're supporting them. And I think it makes it all complete and whole. And, going to like exhibitions, our industry, I always feel, is changing so quickly. A new trend is out, a new machine is out. Going to like these, the professional beauty exhibitions, and then again, going to listen to talks and everything, you learn so much. And you never stop learning in our industry. There's always this course, there's that course. Don't fall asleep in our industry, because you will get left behind. You do have to keep educating yourself. And it's not just educating your team. as an owner, as a boss, as a manager, educate yourself. And because from you sow so many seeds, and watching your team grow and flourish and getting those 5-star reviews, and they're coming back and saying this, it's like they're like your children in a sense, regardless of their age. It's proud moments for you.
Yeah.
And becoming like a multi-award winning Salon, it's almost like getting the recognition. And the lovely thing was when we did the book as well. Yeah, it was almost like writing things down. And you've never been your own brand ambassador. You never, shout about yourself. And it was so hard. And I remember when we had our meeting with everyone, it was like, talk about yourself, but you never brag about yourself. You never, you brag about everybody else, your team, your clients, everything, but you never hold yourself in that value. And I think that's maybe being so humble in yourself. It's always about everybody else, and that's our industry. We give.
I know. With the book, it was always funny because the thing is, obviously now we do in Beauty in the Best 3.
Yeah, I know.
But obviously you were in Beauty in the Best 1, and I can always remember everyone like saying, I don't think I'll be able to write 1,500 words on what I've done. And then everyone was like, I've got 3,000 words. How do I get that down?
I remember having that.
It's just, but and at the moment, as I say, I am going through everyone's stories for the new book.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just makes me so proud. But I've had many a tight tear over this week listening to stories and reading stories, because what I love is that, we're all in the same industry, but everyone has such an amazing journey, and the amount of mountains some people have climbed to get to where they are, it's just awesome. So I can't wait for the new book to come out. But
that's going to be super exciting.
I know. It's another good excuse for us all to get together.
I know, exactly. We love all this social. Socials are definitely amazing.
So Azra, how can someone get in touch with you? What's the best way for someone to have a look at your fabulous new salon or to follow you? What's the best way?
So we are very active on social media. So we have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can contact me through Instagram, private message me, DM me, all those kind of things. We have our website as well.
And are they all under Liberties?
So it's all Liberties. It's spelled different. It's
that's a lovely way.
Yes, it's Libertes, Hair and Beauty. And again, we did aesthetics as well. We had our 2 new amazing. So we were hair and beauty for a long time. We've relaunched. We've added aesthetics to our clinic, because we were saying in our industry, there's so many people doing these courses that, some of them are people that are not even in our industry. They've done a course on computer science, and they've come in and they're doing these injectables and things, and all those things.
I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully, the regulation, we will get it through.
Yeah.
So I know you've got some really great doctors who are coming in now.
So we thought when it's your face, your body. It's so much more. You should have the best. Why shouldn't we give them the best? We've got 2 amazing doctors, and they work on Harley Street in London. They'll be travelling up to us on a regular basis. At the event, they've already got about 17, 18 clients just by networking at the event. So that's going to be really, really good for us, and having everything like that. So again, we are moving up. We are going through things, and I think it is going to be amazing. I always say it's a whole new chapter. You relaunch yourselves, but it's and I've got my dream salon. I've been working so hard for this dream salon. I've got it all, and you open the door, it's like, oh my God, it's mine. It's real. And even though certain things didn't get done in time for the event, we still held the event, and that was amazing success. Yeah. And the press coverage and everything like that was amazing too.
Oh my word. I think anyone watching this, you need to be following this journey, because I can't wait to see the years ahead. I mean, 32 years, fantastic achievement. But I think this is maybe just even the start, Azra.
I definitely think, I feel it's the start of this part of my journey,
start
definitely.
of the next chapter.
Yeah, that's perfectly said, yes.
Azra, thank you so much. This has been absolutely awesome. Thank you
honestly,
for coming along.
My pleasure, honestly. Just as passionate as we are about our industry, if anyone could, this helps anybody in any which way, we feel we've done our job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.